Tonight, we're celebrating stories of compassion and kindness. This is DXB Today.
Welcome to DXB Today. Today is Monday and it's also World Red Cross Day. It's a global event that honours the humanitarian work of the International Red Cross and Red Crescent movement.
And on the show today, we will hear the inspiring stories of those who have selflessly dedicated their lives to helping others.
We'll also shed a light on the vital role of humanitarian organisations playing in saving lives and easing the suffering of those in need.
Yeah, it's an important topic, I think, and one that I'm looking forward to. It's certainly a sector I've seen grow here in the UAE and, of course, specifically in Dubai in recent years. The need to give, but I think also this understanding of geographically, the UAE is in a perfect position to help so many places around the world, and that's why we've seen UN organisations set up centres here, warehouses, etc., for fast response to react to issues in other parts of the world. So taking advantage of that geographic position in the world, but equally the growing desire, the growing need to do better for others around the world.
Especially like the UAE is pioneering and helping so many countries that are in need at the moment, and they always try to do everything to help the countries that are in need, which is amazing.
Yeah, I mean this year as well. So we've got obviously today is World Red Cross Day. Their theme this year is everything we do #comes from the heart, and that's I mean I think as a general rule in life, I like that. Yeah.
Well, what do they say about charities? Where does it start?
At home.
Exactly. So this is your home tonight. This is our home tonight.
It is.
Right? Okay. And this is where the charity starts and moves. Now, we need a guest co-host, and we have a very special guest co-host for today. A remarkable individual, no less, who's been a real driving force in promoting women's rights and gender equality across the whole of the Middle East. Absolute pleasure to welcome our guest co-host. But who is our guest co-host?
Hi, I'm Shadia Jaberi, and I'm very excited to be the co-host for today's episode.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Shadia is a renowned activist, advocate and educator. Her work has touched countless lives around the world. She'll be joining us in just a few moments' time for a more in-depth conversation. But first, there's a unique children's nursery right here in Dubai that's making a difference in the lives of underprivileged children, not just here in Dubai, but also over in India. Ash went down to find out more.
Lucy Bruce co-founded Homegrown Nursery in Dubai, which she runs in partnership with Harmony House, an NGO which focuses on helping underprivileged children. And today I'm at Homegrown Nursery in Dubai to find out a little bit more about these two organizations. Lucy, first of all, thank you so much for having me here.
And thank you for coming today.
I love the vibe and aura of this place because it is very welcoming and very calming for a nursery especially. Can you tell us a little bit about the concept behind Homegrown?
So myself and my business partner, Beverly Jetwani, we wanted to create a nursery that had a really important set of values, and the heart of that would be sustainability, giving back to our local community, our global community, and giving our children a sense of responsibility to the planet.
Speaking of giving back, I understand that I guess one of the main reasons behind Homegrown is the fact that you are funding an NGO in India called Harmony House. Can you tell us more?
So Harmony House started about 13 years ago. And the reason I created Harmony House is because I was making many trips to India. So when we started Homegrown, it just made sense to do a partnership program. So every child that's enrolled in the nursery is paired with a child in Harmony House.
In Dubai, we have a very good life, and a lot of children over here, a lot of families over here are fortunate to be able to justify a certain lifestyle. Pairing the kids over here with the underprivileged children in India, What does that do, or what does that sort of teach them? Does that give them a little bit more perspective about their life over here in the UAE?
So we're trying to generate a sense of purpose for our children. And we also believe that every person on this planet, even little people, can make a positive impact. We're trying to make sure that they, number one, value themselves as individuals, but they also value everybody around them and know that they are able to change somebody's lives right from an early age.
And what would you say has been the impact of your sort of approach towards teaching, or I guess raising the future generation through your style of teaching them sustainability and compassion?
I think the most wonderful thing is when we hear stories from the parents of what happens over the weekend. We know what happens at the nursery. We know how wonderful their children are here and how many wonderful ideas they have about giving back and how they want to get involved in sustainability. But we have really beautiful stories of parents coming in and telling us, we were in a store at the weekend and my daughter went and told the manager to turn off so many lights. There's too many lights. Can you please turn off some lights? Or, we were at home and my child is now turning off all the taps. So I think that the message, it is permeating through the children at a very young age.
Lucy, keep doing what you're doing. It's been such a pleasure to meet you, and I feel touched just by listening to these stories. I can't wait to have a little walk around and see some of your students over here. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much.
There's a real community spirit over here at Homegrown Children's Eco Nursery. They have a holistic approach towards education in an environmentally conscious habitat while supporting over 1,000 underprivileged children in India, not just in education, but nutrition and vocational training.
What a great initiative indeed. We have Shadia joining us on the panel. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
And can you please tell us more about yourself and what you do here?
Okay, so I founded a center called the Rawafid Learning Center. We're an educational organization that works with underprivileged youth who have not had access to education because of different reasons, either war, they've fled war, or because of poverty and different reasons. So what we've done is we've created a toolkit that solves the issue of illiteracy. So the toolkit is basically a mini school. So the idea behind, it's called Thuraya's Box. We named it after a girl called Thuraya, who was not really learning how to read and write. And the idea behind the box is if a child cannot go to school, the school will come to the child. So it's a mobile school in the shape of a box that has every resource that you require to educate a young person how to read and write in Arabic and English and teach them the basics of arithmetic. So what we do is we compress education from the KG level up to grade 3 level into 5 months. So that's 4 years of education or 5 years of education, depending on the country. We compress it into 5 months.
I love this. I love the fact that they often say, don't they, that the greatest ideas are sometimes the simplest ideas. Thinking out the box, you put it all into a box, a learning box, if you like, as well. And yet, something that a lot of other people might take for granted can mean so much to children who need some help.
Yes, well, illiteracy is a big problem in the world. Around 1 billion people around the world don't have access to education. 1 billion people can't read and write. How can you function in the modern world if you can't read and write? In the MENA region, you have 15 million children. These were pre-COVID statistics. 15 million children were out of school. And then there's another statistic from UNICEF that is really, really scary. They says that in the developing world, 60% of children who go to schools are considered the learning poor. What is the learning poor? It's someone who goes to school but graduates from middle school with, they're not literate, they're functionally illiterate. They can't read properly, they can't write properly, they don't know the basics of mathematics. So that basically, keeps them within that cycle of poverty. They cannot move out of that cycle because they can't read and write. So you cannot have development in any society. One of the SDGs is access to quality education. Sadly, millions and millions of children, hundreds of millions of children don't have access to quality education. And that's what Thuraya's Box does.
It's quite phenomenal what it is that you're doing with the box and with the Rawafid Centre in general. What made you even start this and get into it? What was that catalyst?
I used to be a journalist, and then I started working with youth, developing youth. And then I realized there were some young people out there who did not have access to good quality education. They did not have knowledge of how to read and write. And that is a very neglected sector, because it's not really cool for us, in the developing world, to say that we have millions, hundreds of millions of people who can read and write. Now, education, access to quality education, is still one of the challenges that the world faces today. You can't have development if you have, nearly like 10 or 20% of the population of the earth who can't read and write. So that's a big hurdle towards education, and it's one of those challenges that we face and we have not tackled yet. Why? Because to offer quality education, you need to have certain things in place in order for a young child to learn, which is good teachers, good schools, good curriculums, small classrooms. Sadly, in many parts of the world, children don't have access to that. You have a classroom where there's a minimum of 60 children. There are classes in parts of the developing world, there's like 120 children. Wow. You have a child who has dropped out of the system, and then they join the system after 3 to 4 years, and they're expected to join a grade 5 level or a grade 6 level. He can't read, he's still at a KG level. And that's what happens, sadly. So with Thuraya's box, what we're trying to do is we're trying to cover that gap that exists in the world. And hopefully, that's kind of our little, contribution towards solving this problem.
So today's show is something of a charity theme and focus for us today. Strange question for you, but do you think that we are getting more charitable? The reason I ask this is that I remember during COVID and the problems of COVID, a lot of people became quite insular and forgot about people outside their lives, etc. But as time goes on, you are leading initiatives like this, but you need the goodwill, you need the charity of others, individuals and organisations to support you. Is that happening at the moment?
Yeah, I think it is. I think in general, human beings are very, very kind. People are very good, as human beings. That's part of our nature. So I think that, yes, we are getting more charitable. People are trying to get more involved. People do want to solve problems, and you see a lot of people around the world, doing that. People are coming up with small initiatives. Maybe you don't hear of them because they do keep a very low profile, but there's a lot of hidden heroes out there.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that so much. Shadia, I'm so excited that you're with us for the rest of the show as our guest co-host, and we will chat in much more detail a little bit later. However, after the break, we're going to meet more people changing the world one initiative at a time. Stay with us.
Welcome back to the show. Great to have you with us here this evening. Now, our next guest has created initiatives to help companies like Una, Sephora, Alaba, amongst others, by donating meals on their behalf to literally thousands of labourers around the country, promoting acts of kindness and, of course, generosity. Please welcome to DXB today the co-founder of The Giving Family, Sabrina Rabi. Sabrina, it's great to see you as always. Thanks very much indeed for joining us. And on the occasion of our special charity-focused episode as well.
Amazing.
The Giving Family. OK, a lot of people will have an understanding of The Giving Family, but take us back. I want to go back, way back, to the roots. Where did it all start?
Basically, me and my co-founders, so Fadi Musalit and Zahra, Fadi has been doing this for 7-8 years now. But last year we decided, let's invite our friends. Let's see if maybe some of our friends want to join us, and we can just go to labour camps and distribute meals. So we did a WhatsApp group. We were probably like 10, and then all of a sudden we're like 400. And it just grew. And then by the end of Ramadan, we were maybe 1,000. So yeah, it was unreal. I had to plan everything, change it drastically, because first it was just 4 of us.
Yeah.
And I didn't need that many meals.
Of course.
No, of course, it was amazing.
It kind of goes to show as well exactly what you said, Shadia. People are good and people do want to help out.
100%.
And I know that, as part of the Giving Family, you guys have hit some incredible milestones. Give us some of those numbers.
So last year, by the end of Ramadan, we did 150,000 meals. which was amazing. And this year we managed to reach 200,000 meals in only 1 month. So it's been amazing, and we've had amazing donations and companies who have partnered with us to distribute meals as well. So it's been an amazing experience.
Fantastic. Yeah. Is there anything, you know, if there's anybody watching now and they want to get involved with you, you know, we know that it's part of CSRs and such like that. Do you encourage more of these corporates and companies to get involved, or is it more down to the individual level?
100%. I mean, there's both. I have loads of huge companies as well who contact us daily to distribute meals, and like you say, they all have CSR that they have to do every year. So it's not only during Ramadan. It is true that during Ramadan, it's where people kind of contact us. Outside of Ramadan, it gets a bit quiet. But we will still be doing things and activities outside of Ramadan. So we're going to try and do once a month, approximately. So yeah.
And I wanted to know as well, because as you said, and I've seen on social media, the power of social media is crazy. And I just wanted to know how social media is helping you in spreading the word around, because it's a huge tool that you can use as well to your advantage.
100%. So it's been a bit contradictive, because some people are like, oh, but we don't want to show this on social media, you know? Which completely understand, but in our case, we don't showcase it to show that we are actually doing it. It's for awareness, so that people can come and donate meals, and we can distribute more meals. At the end of the day, that's the whole purpose, is to be able to provide meals to as many labour workers as we can. So social media has been an amazing tool, and coming on platforms like you guys to kind of spread the word is also what works.
You're more than welcome. More than welcome.
Always.
Well, let's go about you, though, if that's okay. Because...
Uh-oh, Tom's getting personal.
I was watching the video there just a minute ago, and it's amazing to see so many individuals from so many different backgrounds all coming together to give their time. It's part of the giving family as 100%. Well. But, you know, I've known you for many years. You had a successful career in media. You're well known in the media circles as well. And yet you've given yourself completely to the giving family as well. What was the trip for you?
I think growing up, I've always given back. My family have always made sure that we volunteered, that we don't only go to countries where we go to beaches, we give back. So it's always been part of my upbringing, I would say. And then when the giving family happened, it literally changed my life.
Really?
I've never slept so well in my entire life.
Wow.
It's been amazing, because these labour workers, every day they would look for me and they'd be like, okay, you're here today, I'm going to come, I'll be here at 4. So they look forward to seeing us, and we talk with them. They tell us about their families, about their children, their wives back home, what they do, where they live. So we kind of interact, and even until now, like, they message us from time to time, how are you guys doing? We'd love to see you. So it's really heartwarming, and even...
It enriches you as a person, yeah?
100%.
Is that something you find as well?
Yeah, it does enrich you as a person. It's that spark that makes you wake up every day, and, you know, you're like, you know, you're on a turbo, you want to do something, you want to just, you know, you have all these plans, and every day you have a new plan, and, you know, it's amazing. It gives you a sense of purpose.
Definitely. Sabrina, thank you so much for joining us. What you're doing is amazing for the community and for all the labourers out there.
Thanks, Sam.
First name terms, right? It's the family. Does that mean you're in the family or not?
Exactly, you're part of the family.
Well, thank you, Sabrina.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, our spotlight story for the day is another organisation trying to solve the food crisis, this time through the global issue of food waste. We caught up with the team behind Win Sustainability. Please take a look.
So I'm Kautar.
And I'm Fahmi.
And we're husband and wife. And since 2022, we started off as business partners as well. Win Sustainably started out of concern because we see what is happening in the UAE when it comes to food management, and we needed a solution. That's how Win Sustainably was born.
It's a simple application which will have food businesses and the consumers. Food businesses, they will offer their unsold food to the consumers, which will allow them to save the planet and their pockets.
So you download the app from Apple Store or Google Play. Then as a food business, you register yourself you can straight away list any unsold food that you have, and the user does the same subscription, and then they can browse within the area what offers there are, and as soon as they have selected their choice, they can pay, and the food business will get a notification. They pick it up, or it will be, they select to have it delivered, and that's it.
The challenge what we face with the food business is they're saying that they don't have any excess food. And while it made me wonder how come we reach to 2.7 million tons a year.
Our goal is to, first of all, establish the application within the MENA region. And specifically in the UAE, in Dubai, we want to work with the government to establish and enable a food management policy and regulation that allows and encourages the food industry to prevent food waste and offer them actual solutions.
Well, I didn't have that for a long time, but I can start with going to the beach. And another thing, we can go hiking, me and my wife, which is something we like, both of us, and sit, relax, reading a book.
Where do I sign up? My family around me here, my studio family know that I just do not deal with food waste. So that is something that I want to find out more about, and kudos to the team behind it. OK, now time for the Daily Roundup. What that? It's where we discuss the most trending topics of the day. So we ask the trendiest person of them all to deliver those topics, and that is Katie.
That's right, Tom. You better say my name after that. Right, we're talking about the incredible Wings for Life World Run that took place yesterday at Expo City. Now, what is unique about this run, if you weren't involved or have never heard about it before, it starts worldwide at the same time across all the countries. So, for example, 3 p.m. in Dubai, it was here, it kicked off. 11 a.m. in Madrid, so it didn't matter whether it was night, day, hot, cold, whatever. And the fantastic thing as well is 100% of the marathon proceeds and any donations go towards the research of spinal cord injuries. Did you, I mean, I know you know a lot about the Wings for Life run, but it's so unique because it has no finish line, right?
I think you hit the nail on the head. It is unique. It's unique in so many different ways. It's very inclusive. It appeals to people of determination, to elite athletes, to those that don't really run at all, because you're all contributing to better the lives of others through the campaign. But equally, you're doing it on an international platform. Yet, you might not have left Dubai, but you're competing along with all those that are running around the world at the same time. So you've got all these diverse backgrounds and courses and areas. And the other thing is that it's not a race per se. It's a mass participation event. You're being pursued by a virtual car. As soon as the virtual car picks you up, your race is done, but you've done your bit.
It's brilliant. So you set off and start on your run. 30 minutes later, the virtual car goes off.
Come and tag you.
Once the virtual car sort of passes you, if you will, your race is done.
Oh, wow.
But I know what you're like, Ahmed. You don't want to be running with these big groups of people like all the lovely people
you know
did
me
yesterday.
too well.
But you could also, as well, lots of people yesterday were taking part on the app, which is good.
Oh, wow.
And the big thing is Shadia, kind of bringing you in on this, is they are very, very strong on the fact that 100% of their proceeds for the entries and donations go towards this research. How important is that?
Well, if you're giving 100% of the proceeds to charity, that's really important because it does give credibility to the run that you're doing, and it also, helps charity because we need every dirham that we can get. So, very important.
It's time for a quick break. When we come back, we talk to a fashion brand with sustainability and charity integrated in its ethos. Stay with us.
Welcome back to the show, joined now by an accomplished activist and philanthropist whose work has touched the lives of literally thousands of individuals. The head of design The giving movement. Yeah, you've heard of it, that's for sure. Karenisa Sahel joining us. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
It's amazing to have you with us here.
Thank you.
I'm just thinking about how many people are watching the show at the moment with their giving movement clubber on. That's
oh my
for sure.
goodness, so many, by the way.
It is extraordinary in terms of a movement at the moment.
Everywhere now. It's amazing.
I need to get on the
It is
bandwagon.
movement by
I'll hook
name.
you up.
Movement by name, movement by nature. Have you and the team taken back by just how popular it's become?
Yeah, it's been like an overwhelming positive response to the launch of our brand. I mean, we launched at the height of the pandemic, which was May 2020. We joke about it now in the office because Nick, our COO, he said to us, he was like, I advised Dominic, who's our founder, not to launch at the height of the pandemic. He's like, are you sure you want to do this? But Dom, you know, he's a big risk taker, and that's kind of part of our ethos as well, to be disruptive.
Why? Like, why then? Why was it so, you know, kind of gun-ho at that point? Because you're absolutely right, most people would advise against it. Clearly it's worked in your favour, but...
Well, I mean, for us, I guess it was a lucky time to launch because we kind of rode that wave of everyone being in lockdown and everyone was in their homes, kind of, you had to get a pass to leave. And we launched with athleisure, so activewear and cosy hoodies. And at the time, I don't know about you guys, but I was doing my home workouts and I was kind of running up and down stairwells.
Yeah, I was doing my home workouts.
So it was kind of the right...
Definitely, I was doing that too.
Running up and down stairwells.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was kind of the right product at the right time, luckily for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
We also talked about you giving to charity. So
Yes.
can you please tell us more about what is the giving movement doing towards charity?
So giving's a really strong pillar of ours in our company, and we're partnered with two charities. One is Dubai Cares, which is Sheikh Mohammed's charity, and the other one is Harmony House, which is based in India. So, for example, with Harmony House, we've donated over $4 million in under 3 years. So we're really, really proud of that achievement. And that has kind of gone towards building new centres, medical care, in-house psychologists. And the biggest thing for us is kind of investing in like long-term impact. So it's kind of creating that, investing in kind of skills of the children. So we're investing in teaching them how to sew, teaching them like beauty courses, so when they get to that legal age, they can break that cycle of poverty. And
education again, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's back to what we were saying earlier.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, so the fashion industry is accused and is quite notorious for being very exploitative of workers and also polluting the planet. So what is the giving movement? Like, how are you addressing that?
That's a good question. For us, our manufacturing, our design development is done in the UAE. So we have really strong connections with our suppliers. And we started with them in the pandemic. So they were small businesses and we've kind of grown together. So we've been able to build these relationships, keep an eye on the working, the wages, the fair work-life balance, and also help them grow, invest in machinery, invest in the people there. So we have very strong relationships with our manufacturers.
And you talked there about the ethics, you know, the morals that are key to the brand as well.
Yes.
How does that run through your daily work, the design of the... Because it's all good and well having that, but you've got to keep it trendy at the same time.
Yeah. That's a good question. I think, I mean, our pillars are sustainability, so that leads into the materials, every button, every trim, every label, etc. So these are all certified for us. The second is the homegrown element, so we manufacture, as I've mentioned before, like here in the UAE. The other one is the charitable aspect, which we've talked about. This is mentioned on every garment.
That famous giving movement label.
The label, our most identifiable design feature. But then, I mean, in terms of actually designing, when we research, we look at, we're creating the collections and we're designing and drawing and sketching. The key thing is to really home in on timeless design and make sure that everything we design into and create, it's got a long life ahead.
You talk about your timeless design. I was just saying to Kay off air as well, my niece, my 2-year-old niece, Madeline, she's rocking her giving movement, that little T-shirt and leggings. She's more stylish than any of us here, not you, Kay. But you were saying as well about how proud you are, and of course how proud you must be to see those giving movement labels around and the T-shirts. And we were saying, you see them everywhere.
Yeah.
It's a big airport fit, isn't it, the giving movement?
So it's a travel fit.
What's next then? Because you've already established so much and so far in, what, just under 3 years?
Yes.
What's next for the giving movement?
I mean, yeah, the last 3 years have been like a crazy exponential growth period for us, where we've been really excited and creative with our collections. So it's been a thing of like, okay, let's just try it and see if it works. And we've had such an amazing time. The team, we have a great time kind of collaborating and coming up with these ideas. So we'll never stop coming up with newness and excitement for the customer. Just now we launched the Ramadan collection, which is the satin collection, and we'll always have these drops of newness. But the heart of our brand is what we launched with initially, which is the active and the lounge.
Nice.
So that will always be a big part of our brand.
Okay, one other thing we talked about just before we hand over to the quiz in a few moments' time is this whole idea of enrichment. You know, the giving movement has set its stall out to give back to the community and things like that.
Yes.
Give us an indication of, you know, and you work hard and the whole team are working really hard as well.
Yeah.
What is some of the sort of feedback you've got from those that you've been able to help?
That's a really good question. Actually, I brought a little prop which ties in with your question. So our charity Harmony House, each one of us at TGM, we're partnered with a student or a child where we have like a pen pal relationship.
Oh, nice.
So mine is Karishma. She's really cute.
I'll hold that up for you. So you keep talking us through this, and we'll let the camera catch up.
Tell us about Karishma.
So she's 7 years old, and we have kind of letters going back and forth. I email her, and then the mentors and the teachers can read these out to the children. But for us, every single one of us, we have like this picture by our desk, so it's just a daily sense of motivation and drive every day, because what more do you need, you know, every day? It's kind of building in your purpose and being able to do what you love every day in one. So we're very grateful at TGM to be able to do that.
Can't be that, can you, eh?
It's so nice. That is really nice.
It's
so
so
quick.
Gonna try not to cry.
The giving movement. What? The giving movement. What? Quick! I need to sign up. That was amazing.
Shadia.
Amazing.
It's time for the DXB quiz. I can see that you were not ready. I didn't know what was coming. So I'm going to cue the clock on the screen, and we're going to start in 3, 2, 1. In what year was the World Red Cross Day and the Red Crescent Day named? 1984 or 1994?
84.
84, that is correct. Where did the design of the Red Cross originate from? The first Geneva Convention or the first German conference?
Geneva Convention.
Correct. What does the symbol of the Red Cross flag represent? An upside-down Swiss flag or an inverted Swiss flag?
Upside-down Swiss flag.
That is incorrect. Who is the Swiss founder of the International Committee of the Red Cross? Henry Dunant or Roger Federer?
Henry.
Correct. When is the...
Guess them all, Shadia. Don't worry about it.
When is the World Red Cross and World Red Crescent Day celebrated annually? May 9th or May 8th?
May 9th.
May 9th or May 8th? May 8th, that is correct. The Red Cross and the Red Crescent movement claim to have touched how many lives around the world? And the time is up.
Billion.
Since 6 points on the leaderboard, since it's Mondays and you are the number 1 on the leaderboard, we can see your name.
Let's have a quick look at the lead. Oh, look at
Here
that.
you go. You're number 1.
First place, Shadia.
First place. You did. You
really did spring that on you as well. Shadia, thank you so much. Kate, also thank you so much for taking the time. Best of luck, both of you, for coming in. Thank you very much indeed. Right, it is time for a quick break, but don't go anywhere because we're giving away... Not to you, Shadia. We're giving away a staycation to the glamorous Palazzo Versace. Nice. See you after this. Thanks very much.
Welcome back to DXB Today. I am joined tonight with Mo. Thank you very much for joining us on the show today.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Mo, so can you please tell us more? What got you into songwriting and being a singer? What inspired you to get into this field?
So I recently got into songwriting about 2 years ago 3 years ago during COVID, I was dealing with some personal issues and I decided to write it down, and one thing led to another, and yeah, that's how I got there.
And what if you would name your favorite artists that inspired you to become Mo today?
Amy Winehouse.
Amy Winehouse.
Yeah.
I've seen on social media that you've been covering some of her songs, and I can't wait to hear some of it later on because she's a phenomenal artist. So can you please also tell us more, did anyone support you into getting into this field?
A lot of people. My year 8 music teacher, Mrs. Kerr, she was one of my biggest supporters, and the Barco Studio, who got me this opportunity today, and I'm really thankful for everything they've done for me.
And how can people reach you on social media? What is your Instagram handle?
My Instagram handle is Mo_Al-Amira. MOE_ALOMAIRA.
Okay, so now, thank you very much. We're going to let you get ready, and we're going to go back to Tom because he has an announcement.
Indeed I do, Ahmed. Thank you very much indeed for that. Now, with the Arabian travel market last week and our focus on all things travel, we put our heads together and thought that we would help our viewers, that's you, take a break with a little change of scene, Katie.
Absolutely. We are going to be giving away a one-night stay for 2 people, including breakfast, the most important meal of the day, at the incredible Palazzo Versace Hotel. Now, all you have to do is head to the Dubai One TV Instagram page. Make sure you follow us, of course, and you will find a little competition post. Let us know why you should be heading down there and why we should pick you.
Could not be simpler, really.
It couldn't be.
And of all things charity that we've been talking about today, that's the greatest show of charity of the show so far, I think.
You think?
Well, what a prize that is, eh?
Absolutely.
Exactly right.
What a prize that is.
Beautiful hotel, actually, the Palazzo Versace, isn't it? And it's one of the restaurants in there. And, you know, as soon as I've said that, the name has escaped me. But it's based entirely on that J-Lo dress, the infamous Versace dress, that, by the way, that she wore like 25 years after she first wore it or something and still looked just as stunning. So, yeah, I'm up for that.
Looking forward to that. And, of course, it's a nice way to wrap up what's been an amazing show today. And I think what we've learned today is the fact that we've come so far, certainly in the time that I've been here in the UAE. It always used to be a bit of a grey area charity, you know, something you didn't really talk about that openly.
True.
But all of a sudden, here we are, 2023, so many different organisations, so many registrations as well, and so much great being done here. And I think that's what sort of inspires me here, is that you remember, look, a lot of people here in the UAE are better off than others, and rather than just accept that, they're doing all they can to help others, right?
Yeah.
Not just here, around the world.
Yeah, exactly that. And I'm still clinging on to that little sort of nugget of wonderfulness that Shadia said, that, you know, people are good.
Yes.
People want to do good and want to do kind things, and that's kind of a bit of a philosophy in life for me anyway. But
It
I
puts
love
you
it.
at ease.
Right,
Makes you feel
exactly.
comfortable
And just, you know, that
someone is
whole
doing something good.
you know, just gives you a little bit more faith in humankind, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So let's just be nice to each other throughout the week.
Yes, we should. Yeah, that's what we
Stop
should
being
do.
nasty to me, all right?
It's that in-office bullying that we always goes on about.
We don't talk about that.
No, yeah, exactly. No, it's been wonderful, and obviously recognising everything that the Red Cross and the Red Crescent do as well. And like we were speaking about the Wings for Life run yesterday, I'm still desperate to get Ahmed involved in that.
I think the other thing to remember as well is that, you know, a lot of us, many of us here in Dubai live very hectic lives. You know, there is a work hard, play hard mentality. People work long hours. People reap the benefits of those long hours as well. But it's always, and that's the other thing that struck me about a lot of our guests, is that it's very easy to get wrapped up in that rat race. And only when you take a step back and start doing something for others, as opposed to doing something for yourself, then all of a sudden you see the sort of benefits therein. Well,
that was the thing as well. So Shadia said she was a journalist and went into it.
Exactly.
You know, Sabrina, we know, worked in media and has then gone into the giving family. And I find it amazing. It kind of then makes me think, OK, do I need to do a lot more?
Yeah.
Don't comment on that, because I genuinely do believe. I think I do actually want to volunteer at the dog shelter.
What a great show that we had today.
You just totally ignored me volunteering at the dog shelter, Ahmed. Whatever. It's a good thing.
It is a very good thing. Thank you, Katie. That's it for us today. Don't forget to use our hashtag on the social media DXB today. Let us know if you see anything that you would like us to discuss in our next show. Thank you very much. And now it's over to you, Mo.
Over to Mo.
Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water. Whoa, and I think of all the things of what you're doing. In my head, I paint a picture. Since I come on home, well, my body's been a mess. And I love your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over, Valerie? Valerie. 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 Did you have to go to jail? Your house up on for sale. Did you get a good lawyer? I hope you didn't catch a tan. Hope you'll find the right man who'll fix it for you. 'Cause since I come on home, well, my body's been a mess. I love your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over, Valerie? Valerie, oh, Valerie. Valerie. Why don't you come on over, Valerie? Oh, Valerie, oh, Valerie, Valerie.